history of the art show has just been a development of art teachers getting together, and it was more of a social climate.
It's a way to keep our hand in it a little bit because we're doing things with the kids most of the time. So a lot of people don't know that art educators are also often artists in their own right. So it's kind of fun to get together and see what everybody's doing.
I have been showing in the Faculty Art Show before it was a Faculty Art Show. It was originally a group of teachers, the Garland teachers, that got together and made a small organization. And we started to show at the North Garland Library. And then it progressed into a faculty show.
It's a drive. You get an idea in your head and you have to get it down on something before the idea is fleeting, or like you said, there's no time. And sometimes you just have to make time. Instead of doing laundry sometimes, you can always use the excuse, but I had to do this painting.
I think a lot of people think that art educators are just teachers, like everybody else is a teacher, but a lot of us got into art education because we were pursuing our own artistic endeavors.
I had some teachers in middle school and high school, and it started with middle school really, and that really inspired me, that were really encouraging and just a lot of fun.
The school is geared for teaching for the left brain, math and science, and it's very regimented. And we teach creativity, which is in the right brain, and we teach them how to think. We teach them how to take the things they've learned in English and math and science and bring it into a creation, and bring in their culture and bring it into their creation. So we're using all of the elements that are being taught in school for them to express themselves.
Sometimes getting an idea from inside your brain to another surface, whether it's clay or the stage or a piece of paper, is really kind of difficult for some people to do. And I think the fine arts also kind of teach you some sort of patience, because every time you do something, it's not going to be perfect, and you have to learn that it's going to take one or two times to get something that looks good or sounds good.
It takes all of our skills in order to create. And we feel very proud that as fine arts, when our students leave us, whether they go into art, music, or they become a physicist or a musician or an auto mechanic or whatever, those experiences have enriched their lives.
Maybe you're not going to go on to be an artist, but it's so important to understand the world around you and be able to appreciate the things that are around you, the art history, the rich art history of the world, and just that appreciation, because once they've made a project, they start realizing, you know, this is a lot harder than it looks, and they realize the amount of work and time that goes into something, and it just gives them much more of an appreciation that they can take with them and something that they can remember for the rest of their lives.
Teaching is fun because as soon as you see a student's eye spark, oh, I understand that, it's made my day.
Art teaches children how to think outside the box. They're doing a lot of higher level thinking. They're solving a problem that doesn't always have an easy answer.
I think it teaches you patience. I think it teaches you how to think beyond a right and wrong answer to get a solution.
And they may do art as a hobby, they may never do art again. But I've always had students who go and say, "You taught me something." And to me, it means that I'm taking something and giving it to them.
Whenever you experiment with art, it opens up your brain, and it makes you more creative. And creativity is not just something that can follow you in art, but it follows you in all avenues. You know, in the business world, they're looking for people that think more creatively in the way that they do things.
We do something now that we'd never done before. It's called Visual Arts Special Events, and that's in May, where the kids have to do some artwork and explain how they came up with it and why, what was their motivation and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of hard for somebody who's 12 and 13 years old. What was your motivation to make this piece of art?
You know, I also want to be supportive of the arts, and I think it's important that, you know, as many of us that can submit artwork to the faculty show because it does help with students' scholarships and continues their art education.
The Faculty Art Show showcases our own talents, but it does have a higher purpose. We contribute money to the Faculty Art Show to be in the show, but that money goes into a scholarship fund, and at the end of every year, those scholarships, we sit down and as a committee choose 2 senior students that receive these scholarships.
Having an art show allows the public to see that art teachers are artists in their own right, and it shows a different side of teaching. It's not about the classroom, it's about our own personal projects and what we do, and it defines our skills and our techniques.
You know, one of the things that makes teaching art fun, I was trained as a two-dimensionalist mainly, and so I draw and paint, that's what I sell. But at school, I teach ceramics and sculpture, and I classify that as my hobby. So I guess that's one of the reasons it makes it fun to teach, because I teach my hobby at school.
We're hopeful that people see the show, see who your teachers are in Garland, support us, support the BEST Foundation, and of course support our students.